Canada, the second largest country in the world by landmass, is known for its sprawling landscapes, friendly people, and multicultural society. Its reputation for welcoming immigrants has long been part of the national ethos, woven from countless stories of hope, opportunity, and the search for a better life. But what if the reality isn't as rosy as the dream? What if everything you thought you knew about Canada's open arms was far from the full picture? What if this gateway of opportunity was, in fact, fraught with cracks, pressure points, and systemic problems? Today, we will explore the line between immigration's promise and its dark underbelly. From promises of speedy entry for skilled immigrants to the struggles of integration waiting on the other side. Is it truly broken or just misunderstood? This is the dark side of Canada's immigration system. Before we embark on this journey, I'd like to clarify that the purpose of this video is not to stand against immigration. On the contrary, I believe in the power of diversity and the immense contributions immigrants make to societies worldwide, including Canada. The sole aim is to shed light on the less discussed aspects of the immigration process in the hopes that greater understanding can lead to positive change. To understand the system itself, we need to first understand the criticism it has faced in the past decade. Critics often cite it as broken, inefficient, sluggish, and at times seemingly unfair. In recent years, the government has pledged to speed up entry for skilled immigrants to address labour shortages, an action met with both praise and skepticism. On the one hand, there's no denying immigrants' vital contribution to the Canadian economy. Sectors such as technology, healthcare, and construction have long relied on the talents and labour of skilled immigrants. The surge of international talent has not only filled gaps in the labour market, but also fueled innovation and economic growth. In 2021, Canada experienced its highest proportion of landed immigrants or permanent residents since Confederation, with over 8.3 million individuals representing nearly 23% of the population. This percentage surpassed the previous record set in 1921 of 22.3% and stands as the highest among G7 countries. However, the system is not without its flaws. At times, it appears more focused on the economic benefits, with policies seemingly designed to attract labourers rather than addressing the comprehensive needs of the immigrants themselves. A renowned Canadian journalist, Sri Paradka, exposed the inadequacy of welcoming immigrants, suggesting it aligns with Canada's historical reliance on a servant class and cheap labour for the privileged white-collar class. The journalist also noted the absence of empowering policies and support structures for immigrants, indicating a potential intent by the government to push them into vulnerable positions and economic woes. Moreover, critics argue that the emphasis on labour market needs can overshadow other crucial aspects of the immigration process, such as family reunification, benefits, and access to language resources. So, the question that naturally emerges is Canada's immigration system meeting its objectives? Or is it merely perpetuating a utilitarian perspective benefiting the rich? And there's more to the problems. In recent years, Canada has set an ambitious target of welcoming approximately 500,000 immigrants annually by 2025. While reflective of the nation's inclusive ethos, this commitment has its challenges. One major issue emerges from the increasing numbers: the escalating housing crisis. If you're living in any of the big cities in Canada, the idea of owning a house is practically a fantasy. So, while the promise of the Canadian dream is fed to the immigrants, the Canadian housing nightmare only worsens. The average price for a detached home in Metro Vancouver is about $2 million in 2023. And these aren't mansions we're talking about either. Just regular homes that sometimes can be up to 30 years old and need repairs. It's a situation that has strained even long-standing citizens, and the influx of new immigrants exacerbates the pressure on an already strained system. And, as if that's not bad enough, the language barrier and the struggle for integration can be a challenge for many immigrants. Canada's unique blend of English and French cultures presents a linguistic hurdle that can prove daunting for newcomers. Immigrants who are not fluent in either language can face significant barriers, hindering their ability to secure employment, pursue education, access services, and integrate into the broader community. However, the language barrier extends beyond simple communication. It also has deep cultural implications. Being unable to fully engage with Canadian culture due to language limitations can lead to isolation, making it harder for immigrants to form social connections, understand societal norms, and truly feel part of the community. Other factors, such as recognition of foreign credentials and the availability of professional opportunities, also play pivotal roles. Despite having skills and qualifications, many immigrants struggle to find jobs with their previous experience and schooling. A recent study confirmed the challenges foreign-trained professionals face in the Canadian labour market. For instance, doctors and nurses from abroad often grapple with issues like credentialism and de-skilling. These are talented individuals whose skills are badly needed but are not recognised. This problem is amplified by the emphasis on Canadian work experience. This requirement can feel like a catch-22 for new immigrants trying to establish their professional lives, contributing to higher unemployment rates among certain groups of immigrants, notably those sponsored by families, new female arrivals, and visible minority immigrants. In essence, the road to professional integration for immigrants in Canada is riddled with obstacles. This problem represents a wasted opportunity for both the immigrants and the Canadian economy, who miss out on the contributions these skilled individuals could provide. As we explore further into Canada's immigration complexities, one issue that stands starkly in the spotlight is the daunting backlog of immigration cases. It's a logjam that has been called a silent crisis. In a country filled with bureaucratic bottlenecks, it's no surprise the immigration process is feeling the strain. The repercussions of these delays are manifold, impacting the individuals and families involved and the broader society. Delays can leave potential economic contributors in limbo, impede family reunification, and prolong the uncertainty faced by refugees seeking safety. The backlog has led many to question the efficacy of the current system, underscoring the need for a complete overhaul and modernization. However, such an overhaul is a monumental task, requiring not just resources, but also political will and consensus. This brings us to the vital question of today. What can Canada do to address these immigration issues? As we pivot towards potential solutions, one course of action frequently proposed is liberalization. By making the immigration system more flexible and adaptable, it could better address the needs of immigrants, employers, and the broader Canadian society. This could involve more favorable work and acceptance of studies outside of Canada, making it easier for immigrants to validate their qualifications and secure suitable employment. It's a step that could simultaneously address the labor shortage in certain sectors and improve the quality of life for immigrants. Furthermore, the need for Canadian employers to formulate the criteria for qualified candidates has been highlighted. By allowing employers to have a say in who gets admitted, it's hoped that there could be a much better match between the skills immigrants bring and the needs of the Canadian labour market. This approach could offer a more demand-driven system that optimizes the economic benefits of immigration. However, liberalization also comes with its own set of challenges. It necessitates a delicate balance to ensure the system is adaptable and responsive, yet still robust enough to maintain fair and equitable practices. Navigating these two critical issues, the backlog of cases and the need for liberalization, underscores the complexity and tension inherent in Canada's immigration system. It's a balancing act of competing interests and needs, underpinned by the broader question of what kind of society Canada aspires to be. As we take a step back and examine the bigger picture, we naturally turn our gaze toward the future of Canada's immigration system. Where is it headed? What changes are on the horizon? And will they be enough to fix the system deemed broken by many? In the future, we may see a range of immigration policies aimed at addressing the challenges we've discussed. One possible approach is a more sector-specific policy, where immigration levels are linked to the needs of different sectors of the economy. Another could involve expanded family reunification policies, or more inclusive refugee policies, reflecting the multifaceted objectives of the immigration system. More radical changes might involve implementing points-based systems like those in Australia and New Zealand, or looking at innovative models such as startup visas for immigrant entrepreneurs. New policies might also emphasize the regional dispersion of immigrants to help balance the demographic and economic profiles across provinces. But will these potential changes be enough? Fixing a system as complex as immigration is no simple task. It's not just about tweaking rules and processes. It's about crafting a comprehensive strategy that balances economic needs, humanitarian obligations, and societal impact. It requires an understanding of the many moving parts, all while grappling with the fundamental question of what immigration means for the future of Canada. But these challenges also represent opportunities for dialogue, innovation, and reimagining the future of immigration in Canada.